Welcome back to the Quarantine Diaries Part 2 with Cecilia. As we wrapped up video 1, we were talking about her favorite part of quarantine. So as we go deeper into this idea of favorite part of quarantine, what is something from quarantine that you want to make sure to take with you into whatever the new season or new normal of life looks like in hopefully a few short weeks?
Okay, so that could go two different ways. I think with healthy habits that could definitely be carried over to thinking about meal prep and stuff. But for school, I really like how quickly I can reach my teachers. I'm an emailer. I'll email my teachers if I have a question after school and I never get an answer. So I hope that they stay active because sometimes it's hard to ask questions during class if it's a lecture. And so you have questions and when I email my teachers, I get a response within 10 minutes, and I love that.
Yeah, that access is everything, especially
Yes.
to Gen Z. You already have access anyways, so everything should be that way anyways. So that obviously is something good to take with you. What about something personally, outside of a healthy habit, maybe a rhythm of life type thing you want to take with you into the next season?
I think it's actually doing the devotional book that my mom got me. I've just been reading them, and it doesn't take that long, but I think it's just a nice thing to be able to do maybe wake up 15 minutes earlier and just do that. It's a nice start to your day. I've been doing that more often now.
What are you reading right now?
It's a 365-day teen girl devotional. So it's just a generic one my mom got me when I got confirmed.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something super easy because I feel like habits get created when you have a little bit of space. And then once that habit is created, you understand, oh, I had time for this all along.
Yeah.
I just didn't think I had time for this. In theory, you probably had time to make healthy lunches the entire time.
I did.
But you just never stop to think about it until you actually have the time and space to do it. Because you keep running on the rat race of one step forward without thinking, oh, I could be making this every time. I just don't think about it. So it's perfect. What now, in light of all this, not your least favorite part of quarantine, not anything like that, but kind of what's been the most challenging thing of this season that maybe you didn't expect was going to be hard?
I think not being able to see my friends. During this, my parents have let me see one friend. It's been one person that I've been allowed to see. So it's been nice to be able to talk to someone that's not my family. But I really miss going to school in the mornings and us all talking in the hallway and stuff. I really miss that.
Yeah. Just the encounters that you took for granted that in this season, that you didn't have to worry about. I feel like for the first couple of weeks I was doing fine. And then now I've kind of hit the point where I'm oh, I miss going into the office. And I'm seeing everybody I used to see, even if it was for 5 minutes a day, that at least you got to see a bunch of people. So that makes perfect sense. How do you think when you exit this, when you do get those opportunities to do those casual encounters again, how do you think it's going to feel? And are you going to take it for as granted next time you're able to do it?
I think that it'll just be different. I feel like everyone's just going to be able to see it in a different light. The little encounters, the girl in your class that you know her name, but you would never hang out with her. Those encounters are important. Having a lot of acquaintances, and people took that for granted because I know the only people I'm talking to on FaceTime and stuff are my best closest friends. But I really miss my friends that I'm not as close to or acquaintances. I really miss that. And I think people will value those people in their lives more.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So as we forecast ahead, one day in some form or fashion, this is going to end. There still might be restrictions on either what we can do or, not being able to high five or be within a bubble of a person. But what is that when it is lifted in some form or fashion, when you can go out and do something relatively normal? What is the first thing that you want to do?
Marching band. I want to do it so bad.
Okay. So you're going right for the gusto. It's a nice big marching band. Okay. Where's the first place you want to go when you're able to?
I've been to the beach a lot because you can go after 7 p.m. So I guess I would say back to school.
That is priceless. That is a
I
priceless.
love school. I don't know why everyone doesn't like it. I love it.
I don't know. That's so good. So good. Okay. If you could go to somewhere outside of, not South Carolina, outside of the Charleston area for like some sort of travel thing after this, what would that first place be?
Can it be like far, far? Like an
I'd
exotic?
say, I'd say in this thing, make it slightly realistic, but there's no like, I mean, don't say the moon, but other than that, I'd say everything is perfectly okay.
Well, we had a summer trip planned for the North Carolina beach, the Outer Banks, oddly enough. And so I hope that we get to do that because we stay like with my dad's best friend's family there. So it's like really fun to see those kids and to be able to like go to the beach all day.
Okay.
So I really hope that that's the first place that we get to go.
Mm-hmm. What is the first?
Sorry, he's driving.
Oh, we got a dog making an appearance.
He's licking my leg.
Oh, fantastic. What is the first place you want to be able to go and sit at to eat at?
I don't know. I love so many places. Maybe let me think. Okay, maybe Basil. Basil, the Thai restaurant.
Oh, okay. Thai
So
food.
good.
Mm-hmm.
But my family, we got takeout there one night, but it's never the same as you sitting there. And then like they put your spices on, like it's different.
Yeah, I feel like we've been ordering takeout at least once a week.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
some of the things that you get still taste relatively the same by the time they get to you. But I feel like some of these places, by the time it travels 10 minutes or 15 minutes inside a little styrofoam container,
yeah.
doesn't quite taste the same. And that's not the fault of the restaurant. It's just the.
Yeah, it's just the transportation.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of looking forward to going to get Boxcar Betty's again in person finally.
Oh, that place is so
Mhm.
good.
It'll be so good. So good. All right, what's the name of your dog?
Leo.
What type of dog is Leo?
He is a peekapoo, half Pekingese, half poodle.
Peekapoo. I like that name. It kind of reminded me of Pikachu. Peekapoo.
I'm gonna
Um,
put
how old is Leo?
He is a year and a half, but we've had him for over a little bit over a year.
Okay. Well, that's fun. So as we keep going deeper and deeper down this hole of quarantine life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, what is something you've learned about yourself inside this season?
I think I've learned that, I think I've learned that you really know who your true friends are, Like, I feel like I've had a lot of friends in the past that I've just been friends with for a little bit, and it's fun to be friends with them. But, like, when you don't get to see a lot of people, like, your true friends are the ones that reach out and ask how you're doing and ask, like, how you're mentally holding up. I just feel like I've just realized the true people from the certain questions that, like, your friends ask you.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that is a smaller number than you expected?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Were there people inside this that you figured would be in the circle that were not in the circle?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
But then there's people that I wasn't expecting that are.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to growing up and getting into adulthood. As you slowly start having to narrow down friends, there's people who will stick around that you'll be like, oh, I never realized just how close we actually were, but it turns out we were. Why there's somebody that because I saw them all the time and assumed they were one of the super close, tight knit. It was just because now we were good friends, but just happened to see each other all the time because of life. Yeah, so that makes sense. Okay. What have you learned about your relationship with God in all of this season?
I think I've learned that if you're really like quiet enough and you really have like your mind blank, he really will tell you stuff. Like before I was just going 100 miles an hour. Like I literally had no break whatsoever. But like now that I do, I just feel like I have like such a stronger connection to nature and like to God's creations and the relationships like with my family that are like powered by God.
Mm-hmm. That's good. When you say like quiet, do you think normally you're just so busy that you can't hear? And if that's the case, like how do you think as stuff ramps back up again, because I've said this time and time again, I'll say it time and time again, Mount Pleasant high school students are some of the busiest high school students I've ever met across the country. And I feel like you are one of the supreme examples of that, of busy high school students. And so as you think about that learning that quarantine has kind of helped show you as you go forward, how do you think you can help kind of build that into your own rhythm of life as we look forward to hopefully a slightly normal 2021 school year? How do you think you can kind of create space to hear and still and be quiet?
I think that just taking like little moments, like, because I know there's a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I'm obviously a believer of God, but I just don't think it's possible to have him on your mind 24/7. So I think like having a little reminder, like maybe like wear a ring or a bracelet every time you like look at it or like think about it, you think about God. And I think that taking 10 to 15 minutes every morning or night can just help you like recenter and focus. Because I pray every night and I pray every morning, but I think it's like the little times like in the day that are like the most important when you're doing things that you care about while thinking about God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is like God is always with us, but I feel like so often we don't notice that God is always with us. No
That's
matter, unless you're one of the Benedictine monks who is just sitting in a silo somewhere constantly, like sitting there, but that is not normal, regular life that most people live. And so, yeah, you got to find those tangible reminders. Um, yeah, and I feel like you already have a healthy idea of rhythms down for even morning and night, because that's, part of it is beginning and ending, and then everything in the middle. Sometimes you do your best, and that's the beautiful part of following Jesus. So as we kind of ramp down for the conversation, end on less serious note, but still serious. As we fast forward, or let's pretend to fast forward to the year 2025. So at that point, you will be a junior in college.
2025.
Yeah, junior or sophomore still. Either way,
Junior.
yeah, you'll be in the middle of college. How do you think 5 years from now you will look back on this season? That one article I read called it The Great Pause. How do you think you will look back on the great pause of 2020?
I think that it'll be when I realized how fit I could be, and I could realize how healthy I could eat and how I could maintain my relationships without being far away. So maybe it'll just be like this time will be an example of how it'll be when I'm in college communicating with my high school friends.
Mm-hmm.
So like the people that I'm talking to now, hopefully they'll be the people that I talk to then, like that
Mm-hmm.
aren't in my college, you know?
Yep.
I, I think that I'll look back on it with happiness, that it's a time where everyone had to stop, but I think that I stopped well. Like I think that I've been doing pretty well. Like I haven't let go of myself, and I'm proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that have let go of themselves, it's understandable. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's totally like you're sitting at home all day with food in your pantry and Netflix on the TV, and you're not working. You know, it's just like it's totally understandable.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What do you think, or what do you hope will be like the great lesson that especially your generation will remember and look back on this in 5 years? Like, what do you think Gen Z, and more specifically, maybe your 4 years of high school people, will remember or have learned from this experience of the great pause of 2020?
Technology is important, but relationships are more important.
Oh, I like that. So as you say that, how do you think your relationship was with technology before this?
Well, I love my computer. I love it. But I did not use it nearly as much as I do now. And like it hasn't made a mistake. You know, like I think that like we're at like a point now where technology has gotten so good that we like underestimate it.
Mm,
But as we go on, I think that it's gonna start like getting better and better.
hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So one of the things that I'll throw out with my sister and Ellie at times is that because we were right in the age where we grew up with technology, but we still had to learn it. because I still didn't have a cell phone at the beginning, different things like that. But that we used to remember hanging out in high school and having debates with questions that we could not answer. But now, even I feel like whenever we come across a question we can't answer, we grab our phone and we just Google the answer. And so it's even interesting. Yeah, technology is always right and always with us. Um, but yeah, relationships have to come in the midst of all of this, and technology can help with those relationships. But even I'm tired of digital gatherings. I'm tired of it. Like I'm ready to see and hang out, even if it's with like a bubble of people hanging out in a large circle. That sounds so much better than even a Zoom conversation like this at this point. So even with this idea, let's fast forward again 5 years. Let's say just 2025. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you come back from college, wherever you wind up. Ellie and I invite you over to our house, and so you're sitting on our porch. And next thing you know, up comes running little Ellie or little Jonathan. How would you describe the great pause of 2020 to a little tiny child who has no idea what other than they've heard us talk about it or heard people talk about it, but didn't experience it? How do you think you would describe this season of life to the next generation who won't remember it?
Something that they will probably never experience, but it changed all of our lives, and something that can't even really be described because it's just like a hold on everything around us. It's like the world is spinning, but we're staying still.
Yeah.
I just think that we're gonna have to tell it to them like the Black Plague, but with not that bad of symptoms. Like how everyone was just in their houses and praying and crying and
Mm-hmm. Watching
just thinking about the future.
Mm-hmm. Watching Tiger King and Outer Banks.
Watching a Netflix.
A lot of Netflix and not crashing the internet, surprisingly. So that's also another surprising thing of this whole season. I haven't broke the internet yet. Way to go, America and the world, for not breaking the internet. So as we land the plane officially, Cecilia, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like everybody to know, just for the sake of the season, or maybe some parting thoughts or wisdom that I haven't asked you that you think would be beneficial for others to hear?
know. I think that just like if you have stopped caring about what you look like or what you're eating during this, it's okay. But like think about the future, like think about how you can be the person you want to be when you exit, and like act like just like the gap is closed. Like how would you be acting now if we were still doing normal things?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's confusing. But I just think that it's just crazy. Like I just hope that everyone is being safe and doing the right things.
Yeah, just because that you're not living a normal life doesn't mean that you still shouldn't worry about trying to make yourself better and just eating nothing but cheese puffs all day.
Constantly improve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because ice cream is delicious and cheese puffs are delicious.
Yeah, I've been eating cashew milk ice cream, so.
Again, you're being so healthy for a teenager. I'm so impressed, Cecilia. You and Ellie need to have a conversation about all your healthy eating habits on quarantine, while I am the one who's like, should we order pizza? Or how about more ice cream tonight? Let's get more ice cream. Because that is life when you're married. All right, Cecilia. Well, that was fantastic. This was the Quarantine Diaries with Cecilia. So check it out. Say hi to Cecilia, let her know what you thought, and thank you for joining us.
DM me for more questions.
Perfect. Bye, guys.